welcome back to another Gadget Report. Let's talk gadgets. And this week I am going to talk about an article that I read a few weeks ago and that I obviously had to say something about it because this may cause a little bit of confusion. And it's regarding TAP, the Portuguese national carrier, the Portuguese airline. I read an article that says TAP is a budget airline, which is not. Let's see why. So stick around. Let's talk gadgets. And this week we're gonna talk TAP, the Portuguese national carrier or flag carrier, as sometimes it is also called. So this is the story. When I started researching for articles and information to prepare the Gadget Reports and my weekly articles, I came across this article written by a lady called Miriam Jaff. I'll leave the link below so you will be able to read the article. She is, according to the blog, aviation commentator, and the article was about TAP. And it talks about TAP being a budget airline. It automatically caught my attention because obviously being born in Portugal and living there for 30 years, I know TAP way too well because obviously it's the national carrier. I used to see TAP planes flying over my building every day because I live fairly close to the airport, Lisbon airport, and obviously I know what TAP is and I know what they are and what they are not, and definitely they are not a budget airline. So I read the article. The review, it's not negative or anything. She's just commenting, saying that people should consider TAP flying because it's pretty decent and this and that. The article was not bad at all. The only thing is obviously that TAP is not a budget airline. She mentions that TAP is a budget airline and that you should consider it because it offers very good options, blah blah blah, and it was quite nice. But TAP is not, as I said, the TAP is the Portuguese national carrier, and it's the main airline in Portugal. And I've already said that. I even had a Gadget Report about the history of TAP. I will also leave the link below so you can actually watch me last year telling you about the history of TAP. And it has been so since it started. Basically, it's always been the Portuguese flag carrier, and that means it has the national flag, and it's like, for example, for the United Kingdom you have British Airways, for Australia we have Qantas. The Portuguese have TAP. It's the national carrier. That airline. It's sort of a representative of the country. It's the airline and the national airline. So it cannot be a budget airline. So I explained on that video. I told you the history of the airline, etc. And the funny thing is, the lady at some point in her article mentioned that the only thing that is not so budget on TAP, it's the pricing, that it's a little bit above other budget airlines. Well, I wonder why. Of course they are above other budget airlines because TAP is not a budget airline. TAP is a full carrier. It's a full service airline. You have meals on TAP. You have TAP is the equivalent of British Airways, is the equivalent of Air France, is the equivalent of Qantas, is the national carrier of Portugal. It is not a budget airline. So saying that that TAP is a budget airline, it's basically the same as saying that British Airways is a budget airline or Qantas is a budget airline, which we all know is not. And obviously, it's incorrect. I'm sure the lady did not say this on purpose, but obviously, it may lead people into confusion, and it may lead people to think that TAP is indeed a budget airline, which is not. Um, the fact that for some countries the pricing may look competitive, I don't know if that is the case, does not mean that it is a budget airline. It just means that for that airline, that those are the prices that they do, and may be slightly different from other airlines. But that, I think, happens with all airlines. If you look at pricing in Qantas and you look at pricing in British Airways, you obviously find that for equivalent flights you may have differences in pricing. So I think that happens for every airline, because of course every airline is a sovereign business, is an individual business, and their board makes the decision for each individual airline. But just because one airline may have lower prices, and honestly, I do not know if that is the case, because and after that, I also read, unfortunately, a few comments about TAP that were not very positive, especially in regards to service, etc., etc., which I obviously made me sad, because I flew with them, and as I said on my previous video, I flew with them, and I really enjoyed the experience with them. This was a long time ago, and I would be very sad if that is no longer the case. But obviously, I cannot comment on that. I can comment on this, and that's why I decided this week to make this gadget report about TAP, to actually tell you that it is not a budget airline. TAP is the Portuguese national carrier. Even if the pricing may look, even though she even admits that it does not look that budget, for a reason it's not. Even if you think the pricing may be more competitive than other airlines, I don't know if that's the case. I know that also your location counts when booking flights, which I honestly don't think is fair, but that's also a matter for another video. And obviously, if you think it's more competitive, I don't know if it's the case. It is not because TAP is a budget airline, it's just because that's the way they do things, and that's the way they price their flights. So please bear in mind, TAP is not a budget airline. So for today, I hope you like this gadget report. I hope you like this talk about TAP. And knowing that actually this was wrong, and this is normal. Sometimes you do your research, but when you're talking about something that you may not know or something like that, this type of errors are common, and sometimes they happen. The main thing is that we obviously need to do research when we write. I always try to do my research when I write my articles and when I prepare my gadget reports, so I don't incur in these mistakes. But I'm not immune to that, and the proof of it was that gadget report I did last year about MH370, which I read the article, and it looked really legit, because it was that investigation was legit, but it did not mention that it was not peer reviewed. And I ended up doing an article and telling you about something that, yes, was happening, yes, was proposed, yes, the investigation happened. However, that investigation was proved to be inconsistent, had lots of inconsistencies, and then I had Anderson actually alerting me that obviously that report was wrong, and that's why I corrected it in my second last videos of in my November videos, in my November reports. The same happened to this lady. I'm pretty sure she will be told that TAP is not a budget airline and she might correct it. But obviously, I'm sure she did not do that to mislead anybody or anything like that. Sometimes these things happen. And the purpose of this video is by no means slam what the work that she did. She just wrote a very good article and she gave her honest opinion about the airline, which I think it's always positive, but obviously had that little mistake, and I decided to clarify it here in my video. I hope you like it. If you have anything to add to this article, please comment on the below the video. If you have any questions or if you have any subject you would like to suggest for our reports, please leave your comment below. Before I go, I like to say, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching and see you next week. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.